I've been where you are, stuck in the endless loops of trying to change and then falling right off. I couldn't figure out why I had no self-discipline and couldn't just have a routine that was sustainable, that I could stick to. I finally, after going through so much, have figured out how to be consistent, how to have self-discipline. That's why I created this video, to create a sustainable way that will help give you long-term success in self-discipline and consistency, so that you can see the life and the lifestyle and the woman, the man, the person that it is that you want to become. What I learned was that my foundation was weak. My strategy was weak. It's about creating a space that is meant to reconnect with yourself, rebuild your foundation to have a stronger foundation. This is customizable to anybody with any schedule, any lifestyle, because it is just around you and what's best for you. What is really hard is staying in this space, is being stuck, continuing to isolate in a way that's avoiding yourself and not in a way that's productive, intentional, and intended to make you flourish in the end of it. So I created this 30-day guide, and in just 5 days, those first 5 days, I completely felt transformed, and I knew I am never going back to that version of me. I know for a fact, I don't care what life throws at me next or in the future ever, I understand how important it is to show up for myself no matter what. It's going from such a dark place of isolating and avoiding yourself to something that is very intentional to help you reconnect with who you are and who you're meant to be by putting you at the forefront of your life for once. I just didn't think that I could do it again, you know, but by doing something that made all of these consequences real, that showed me what my limiting beliefs were, that gave me the permission to just work with my body and do what I know was best for me, was such a beautiful formula in really getting to the bottom of things and actually making sustainable change. So these are the chapters of what we're going to cover today. If you're still watching, make sure you hit that thumbs up button so more people like you can find this video, and let's get into it. Hey y'all, it's your girl Jessie Milani. Okay, so this is where it gets deep. You are not going to get to where you want to get unless you address your fears head on. Okay, so let's break this down, because once you understand how these fears are holding you back, you will now have the tools and know exactly how you can overcome it. My love, it is time to get out your pen and paper, because yes, we're making efforts, we're making steps. Come on, get your pen and your paper, or open your phone into your notes. The way that I approached these questions was thinking about that dream me who shows up in all of these ways, because I have multiple goals that she is already living. So there's a fear of losing comfort. So even though comfort is uncomfortable, there is still some sort of stability there. We can pick our struggles over overcoming them because it is familiar to us. The fear of the unknown is scary, and when it's easy to predict the next day and just how we're going to feel about something, we will keep on choosing that for the sake of comfort. To the avoidance of responsibility and freedom. Being in a state of almost changing keeps us from taking full responsibility for our lives. It now calls you to get really real with yourself, with your relationships, with your finances, with your physical health, your mental health, and a lot of the decisions that you've made and how you've gone about things. Because when you're trying to improve yourself, you're going to naturally reflect. Sometimes that's something that we want to avoid, because being real with ourselves and taking that accountability can be scary sometimes. 3, attachment to self-sabotage as familiarity. Now this one, I was like, ooh, you know, when I'm making all of these plans to have these new routines and be eating healthier, start working out again, it's like your brain is expecting failure, and it's just part of the process. Like, I'm gonna start this, but I know that, you know, PMDD is gonna come, or I'm just gonna, you know, fall off and I'm gonna have to try again. So no longer am I self-sabotaging, and you don't have to self-sabotage either, even though you can recognize that, you know, this is a comfort zone. This is familiar to me. We like what is familiar to us. 4, there can be an unconscious belief that change requires suffering. So sometimes we have this belief that a transformation must be something that is painful. And so, you know, what does our ego do? Our ego is actually serving us to protect us. So then there becomes this subconscious resistance to it. But change change can be gradual, change can have compassion, change can be something that is not so like scary and horrifying. So 5, then there can be expectations of instant gratification. In the world of Amazon Prime, where everything is just so instant, fast, we're online all the time, and you see in little 12-year-olds become millionaires. If it's just so, you know, wildly easy to just attain so rapidly, why haven't you done it yet? Because it's not easy, and because it takes time, and because you're not seeing people's backstory and how much effort and time and work and stuff that they went through in order to get there and have that massive success. Flowers don't bloom all year long, and everything has its seasons. 6, fear of success and being truly seen. Sometimes that fear leads to people seeing you and your vulnerabilities, people seeing you share your life, people seeing you for your full potential, and you feeling this natural pressure to want to live up to that. 7, there's an underlying desire to be saved. No one is coming to save you. You have to want this. You have to be so sick and tired of the loops. You can't go through another loop. So real change happens when you are the one who takes control back over your life. And it is safe for you to know, like, it is safe for me to take control over my life. And you can say that to yourself. 8, resistance to letting go of familiar suffering. Familiar suffering can become part of your story and your identity, and it can feel like letting go of that struggle just is gonna make you feel lost. Your potential and all that you can have in life is not limited to your circumstances. You can make it out of anything, but never ever think that you cannot become who you want to become just because of your current circumstances. I am a completely different version now. I am not afraid of the unknown anymore. I am afraid of comfort. I now find comfort in the fear of the unknown. So wanting to change is not enough. Writing these things down in your journal is still not enough, and is not all that you have to do to have this amazing transformation. Like I'm telling y'all, you now need to be able to have a mindset that is resilient for and ready for change. So 1, vividly envision the life that you want. Take the time to sit quietly and close your eyes and imagine how it feels waking up as the version of you that you want to be, that you are looking at in the future. Try to imagine things in your mind's eye, and maybe you don't. And if you struggle with that, you can write it out in script. But picture how good it feels. Like, get really deep with those emotions. Like, how good, like, oh my God, just think about how good it feels when you wake up, where you are just like oozing this radiant you, the you that you've been wanting to be her, and you finally her. You wake up and you're like, you have it all. So 2, connect deeply with your why. The problem on why you can't be consistent and have self-discipline, you don't have a strong enough why. You want to have a YouTube channel. Why? Who are you creating for? What is it going to do for you? You want to have the confidence to go into spaces that you know that the people that you want to befriend or to date, to network with would be, but you're too scared. Well, that's because you don't got a strong why. Why is it, if it was just so important to you to go do, like you got to pay rent, you know, or you pay your mortgage, that is extremely important. Why? You see how strong that why is? Why? So that brings me to number 3. Another huge reason as to why you cannot show up is because you're not breaking your goals down. They're just so vague, but you're not writing out how. So this, literally breaking my goals down, shout out to my brother for even giving me such basic advice that literally was like, I was like, oh, that's why it's so hard. So I'm gonna make a completely separate video on that. Having it broken down shows me how important it is to do those things. So 4, identify the pain of staying the same. This was enough for me to be like, yeah, no. Literally picture yourself a year from now, feeling like being in this same space. Like, can you just makes me want, I refuse. I was like, I will not. So if I'm not gonna be in this place a year from now, how do I do that? Doing what I've been doing, making all these same attempts to change and to become, no, it doesn't work. So I'm not going to do that. I need to do something radically different. So that's why, again, we're here. 5, turn misery into motivation. So every time you feel unhappy about your current reality and where you are in life, let that be a reminder to only keep on like wanting to show up and go. So every time you're in that energy, use it as fuel in taking action. You get pissed off about where you are with your current circumstances. You're just reminded about where you are financially. You're reminded about where you are with, your relationships with certain people and how, upset they make you. Be present with that enough to be like, look, I need to turn this into motivation so that I can get out of this situation. Because that's the whole thing. You want to get out of that situation. Create non-negotiables. This is going to be really good for people who have struggled with that consistency factor, because it means that like you are showing up in like a little way no matter what, even if it's for 5 minutes, even if it's for 10 minutes, like going on a walk or journaling. It's a promise to yourself that I don't care how long my day was, how tired I was, I'm going to show up for me, because this is only going to be more proof that I need that I am consistent and I am capable of showing up. And then the last one is stop negotiating with your comfort zone. So comfort is such a false illusion. It's not even something that really does feel good. We just think it is. So choosing comfort is delaying pain, like the pain of, like showing up at the gym, or the pain of having to like get up and cook something healthy, or the pain of having to like be seen, like that type of pain, if you know what I'm saying. But it results in long-term dissatisfaction. So you're picking something that is short-term satisfaction, but long-term dissatisfaction. When you're choosing to be like, you know what, forget it, I'm just gonna pick this pain, I'm just gonna get over my fears, I'm just gonna show up and just do it because I know I need to. That is temporary discomfort, because you have to push through that fear of the unknown, and it is long-term satisfaction. You want to stop trying to negotiate with, nah, I could just do that later, I could just do that tomorrow. I mean, it's not that bad with like where I am. I mean, where I am is really not that bad. I guess I can just kind of like, keep pushing through for a couple more days and just hope I can, level up soon. And yeah, divine timing though, right? No. You want to break free of that, because that is such a horrible loop. It's a very difficult space to be when you're self-aware, when you have a lot of knowledge on what it is that you need to do but not doing it. So it's time to create growth and transformation, and it's going to be by showing up for yourself daily. And you need a routine, something that you commit to that is strong, but it doesn't have to be something that is like a punishment and something that you feel is forced, like you don't want to do. So I found the best way to customize your own routine based on whatever type of schedule that you have, so that you can finally start showing up. So let's get into how to create a routine that actually sticks. So here's the thing. It's not that your routines aren't working because you're lazy and unmotivated. A lot of the times it's just not designed for somebody like you. And too often we're trying to copy and paste someone else's plans, and we set all of these rigid goals that don't align with our energy, with our preferences, with our lifestyle, and we end up falling off. So you need to review your energy and enjoyment levels. So it's just to say that we're all just so different. We all have so many different preferences, and you need to align them based on what it is that you want. Especially like if you're a person with the uterus, our energy levels are changing throughout the month, whereas men, they are on a 24-hour cycle. And so I like to work with the Flow app to kind of cycle sync. I don't completely like extreme cycle sync. Now, it's one thing if you're just really limited to what your free time is, and you have to wake up at 5, even though you hate being, a morning person and waking up that early. But sometimes you need to have that discipline. To identify the points of resistance. So going to the gym, the times that we wake up, the times that we eat, how often we cook in a week, like those are all things that are so different, like person to person to person. Everybody doesn't have to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Everybody doesn't have to work out 6 to 7 a.m. Some people are going to prefer to wake up at like 9 o'clock in the morning, and they're going to perform better in their day because of that. Some people are night shift workers and they wake up at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Some people people have to take their kids to school, or some people work multiple jobs and their windows are just so much slimmer than somebody who's like a freelancer or whatever, you know, okay? You have to figure out what works based on what it is that you want. So how can you implement that based on your schedule? Break your schedule down, write it on paper. What are your obligations every day that you have to do? Whether you have kids, you care for people, you have a job, multiple jobs, maybe your schedule is changing a lot because you don't work the same hours in the same day every week. You need to get clear on your Sunday to Saturday. 3, reflect on your natural strengths and preferences. So consider your natural rhythms and preferences. Like, are you in terms of being an all-in or a gradual person? So do you need more structure to? Are you more flexible type of person? So if the approach doesn't leverage like your strength or suit your personality, it might not be the best fit. You know, like those planners that you buy sometimes and it's just like listing every hour of the day. You know how many of those planners that I have bought and I have just never done because I can't stick to it. That's why I'm obsessed with this like 30-day guide that I made and like this little planner that I made, because it's the first thing that I've actually been able to stick to because it's just so basic. I need dynamic times to wake up. You know, when I'm in my follicular, in my ovulation phase, I can get up really early. When I'm in my, you know, luteal phase and I'm on my period, I need a little bit more rest for my body. I mean, look at what my body is going through. You may not be somebody that has the privilege to do that. Maybe you do. So it's just something that you want to be able to tweak based on what's best for you. I also found that I can work with my all-in or all-out mindset. I just found that adjusting and not doing things for time and just showing up works for me. Getting out of isolation and, you know, taking these first steps is amazing. It's amazing to now realize that we don't have to be like everybody else and that we can work with our bodies, work with our preferences and lifestyles in order to make something that is lasting and sustainable for us personally, because this journey is between you and you. So drop down below in the comments one thing that has not worked for you when it comes to setting a routine and creating a routine that you're just like, I can't do it. Like maybe it's the waking up at 5 in the morning. Maybe it's the Pilates class. Maybe you're like, I hated Pilates. It was so boring. You know, like I haven't taken Pilates yet. But what is next? Now we can finally get into talking about this 30-day guide. If you have been relating to what I have been sharing in this video so far, I need you to do the same. Put you first for once. Set the bar low for your goals. Do the inner work. Make these agreements and these 5 non-negotiables every single day so that you can feel that same transformation that I have felt within the last 30 days. So if you've been watching this series, you know that the last video we talked about how we avoid ourselves, the coping mechanisms that we use in order to get through an isolation period, and what the heck even gets us into isolating in the first place. And so I mentioned that we're going to go from something that's a more gradual transformation, something that's not just so hot to cold. And so this is an intentional isolation. What do these goals really mean when my mental health is low? And so I decided I'm going to just focus on my mental health for 30 days. I knew I wasn't ready to just go back into the world and go back to, you know, how I used to be when I was just feeling on top of the world. I knew I still needed to be in some sort of isolation to some degree. In the month of November, I decided, I'm just gonna call something Nurture November. So I got to customizing my own little planner. I'm gonna make it cute, I'm gonna make it pretty, and it's going to be such an intentional time that I spend with myself, just going through it every day and checking it off, because all these other planners that I'm buying are just not working for somebody like me. So these small sustainable habits are non-negotiable no matter what it is that you do for a living and what your day-to-day looks like, okay? These are such simple ways of reconnecting with ourselves and getting our mental health to a better place so that when we come out of this 30-day intentional retreat, we will feel so much better because we were showing up in these ways. So first, a morning and evening ritual. This is your time to go inward, to reflect, to show up for yourself without any distractions. I recommend creating a sacred space somewhere in your room. And so it could be a pillow on the floor somewhere, it could be a seat by the window, it can even be sitting sitting at a desk, wherever it is that you have space in your home to create a welcoming and inviting corner for you to just start and end your day there. And so I wrote a couple of things down. So your morning rituals can be journaling, writing gratitude, even like a brain dump. You have a lot on your mind, a meditation or a prayer, reading something inspirational or motivational. Maybe it's listening to a podcast on your, drive into work. Maybe that's the best time for you to set time with yourself. Maybe you're doing a video diary in the morning, reflect on what you want for the day and how your day prior went. Maybe that's something you do in the evening, or making tea or coffee and sitting in silence. As far as evening ritual ideas, I'd say reflecting on the day in a journal, writing down 3 things that you're grateful for, doing deep breathing exercises, taking a warm bath or a shower to unwind, really romanticizing it, dressing up your bath, get some flowers if you want to go that extra mile, or it can even be lighting a candle and listening to some calming music. I love listening to healing frequencies. I love listening to jazz music. I found this page, so definitely go to this page if you want, for some African lo-fi beats. Thought those were so dope. She's got a couple videos that I've just saved to a playlist. And then the second non-negotiable is going on a daily walk. And so I don't know where you're living at and how walkable your area is, but if you have access to a nearby gym or a treadmill, maybe you have a walking pad that looks like this. I have a link of one that I used to have that was really good in Amazon. I'm also 5'8", and so I finally found one that was good for my this is your time to clear your head, reconnect, and just have some time with yourself. I really look forward to going on a walk. The only stuff I watch on YouTube is empowering, motivating things about like just mindset and reaching the goals that it is that I want to have. And so I look forward to the conversations that these women are going to, be sharing on their platforms. And when I tell you, like, just the stuff that I've been listening to, the women I've been listening to have been empowering the heck out of me. I love Haley Gamba. I love Lynette Adkins. I love Jazz Turner. Those are 3 of my favorite YouTubers. Being on those walks and listening to all of the amazing things that, these girls have to say, and they're just so motivating. It's only just building that momentum and reminding me every morning, every afternoon, every time I'm going on my walk, why I'm doing this. Or you're gonna be like, what the heck? You might not like this, but it's no social media. You don't need to quit social media entirely. I'm not telling you to delete your apps. Be mindful of that with Instagram and TikTok, because they will delete all of your drafts. By doing this, you're going to finally reconnect with yourself in a way that you will surprise yourself. You will surprise yourself how many new hobbies you pick up, because you're like, oh my gosh, I'm always going on my phone. Now I need something else to do. Now I'm bored. You should feel bored. If you feel bored at some point in these 30 days, that is a great thing, okay? This is a very common coping mechanism, and a lot of people are very in denial about how much they're using social media. Like, I think we need to be so for real and take these breaks and address that a lot of y'all have a problem, okay? I have addressed my problem. I have checked myself. I have been real with myself and my problems. It is your turn to do it next. So y'all be checking in on these celebrities and going to all their pages and seeing what they're doing. Y'all know who y'all are, but how come you're not seeing how you're doing? I'll wait. Oh. You're not even seeing how your life is going. You're not even creating the life that you want, but instead you're gonna sit and watch people living the life that you would love to have. This is about creating a fulfilling life, because life has not been feeling good lately, has it? Has it? No, it has not been feeling good, so that's why we're here. The only apps that I will say to use is YouTube. No scrolling, absolutely not. This is a non-negotiable. Even if you're a creator, if you need to find a sound for your video, I get it. Do that by all means, but make sure you set a timer. Keep that as your focus. You need to upload. I get it. Set your timer. Make that your focus. Last one is nourishing foods. Do whatever you can that is within your budget to pick nourishing foods. And when I say that, eat your fruits, eat your vegetables, but do what works for you. But just know that these 5 things are non-negotiable. In this planner that I've made, and it is available for you guys to purchase, the link is in the description box. I decided to make this something cute to check off every day. So it's like a reward system. It is how dopamine works. And so you're gonna want to keep on hearting these things or starring these things at the end of the day. This is how mine looks. And it's something to look back at the end of the week and be so proud. Ooh, I didn't do good that day. No, I want to be able to circle that in tomorrow. I think next week we need to be a little bit more intentional with this goal. Simple as that. You keep going. And that is where I'm starting to break that 0 to 100 all in or all out habit, where I am just honest with myself and I'm just like, I just need to do better. That's it. So I tell myself, I am someone that shows up even if it's in small ways. I am flexible. So my walk, my morning and my evening routine, I don't do it for time. I don't do it for distance. It's the act of me showing up every day. That is me setting the bar so low. So this is helping me with my all in or all out 0 to 100 mindset. So like I said, the focus is my mental health this month, but I realized how much my weight was affecting multiple areas of my life and limiting me from multiple goals that I have for myself. I will say it has been an extra big factor in how I've been feeling even better. But like I said, by day 5, I knew I was transformed and I was never going back, just by doing what I've been sharing with you, writing all of those things down that I did, and really getting to the bottom of things from an internal perspective. But don't worry, the guide is going to be available for you no matter what month it is. And if you have any suggestions on what you would love to see in the planner, please let me know down below in the comments. I can't recommend this planner enough. Like, this has helped me so much. I feel so like happy talking about it because I'm so glad I found something that worked, you guys. So make sure you communicate with the people in your life that, hey, I'm doing this thing for 30 days and maybe you're gonna be less available to spend time with them. Maybe you'll be saying no more, and maybe you'll be talking to that person on FaceTime a lot less and taking calls a lot less because you want to be with you a little bit more. So maybe you will be doing that, or maybe you won't. Again, this is totally up to you. I can't tell you what to do. I'm only sharing this because this is what has really worked for me, especially if you relate to what I've shared. This is what's helped me get out of being in that space. So stop identifying as somebody that struggles to commit or somebody that is inconsistent, because you now make small efforts to get you closer and closer and closer every day to that type of person that you have in your head of who you want to be. This 30-day plan was all about prioritizing your mental health and creating a space for yourself. So no longer are we indulging in these coping mechanisms that hold us back. We are reconnecting with who we are. We're bridging the gap with who we used to be, making peace with her, and we're inching closer to that dream version of ourselves. If this is something that you're excited and you really think is going to work for you based on what I've shared so far, please let me know in the comments too, and subscribe if you are, just feeling the vibe with me already, because this is a lot about what my channel is about, just bettering ourselves. There is still another crucial part of this video, which is now that you have done the inner work, you've acknowledged a lot, you've decided how a routine works for you, we've talked about this 30-day guide. As somebody who hasn't been trusting themselves because they haven't been consistent, we need to make it a little bit more real by diving into the consequences. So the last step is how to take the consequences of not showing up seriously for once in your life. It means making it feel as real as possible. I recommend you do all these that are like, ooh, like I know that's gonna work, or do as many of these that you can, honestly, because it's only going to make it more and more real for you. And by the way, I wrote all these in the 30-day planner so that you can fill it in and have this sort of like section that you go to whenever it is that you want to give up, when you don't want to do it. So like, I gotta do it because I don't want that to happen. So 1, write a letter from your future self. Write a letter as if you are still this future self in like 5 and 10 years, right? And tell this version of you that you are right now how horrible it feels, how many opportunities you missed in life, how much regret that you have, how many things you could have done, should have done, would have done, but didn't. And let that be so real for you. So when you don't want to show up, you have that to look back onto, okay? Because I'm pretty sure you don't want that letter to become a reality. Okay, the next one, turn maybe later into no, not ever. And so this has worked really well for me. So every time you want to put something off and you tell yourself later, it usually means that you're never going to get to it. How many times you say, I'm going to go on a walk today, and then I'll go later. Later just never happened. Oh, the sun went down. Oh, shoot, I forgot to go. When it comes to me needing to go on my daily walk to make sure I meet that non-negotiable, I just make sure I go right away when I have no time to think about it, instead of being like, I'm going to put this off. 3, recognize the impact on your loved ones. ones. So a lot of us, we just want to, you know, take care of our families and do a lot for them, become so successful that they don't gotta worry about stuff no more. You know, it could really be us to take them out of it. We want to be better so that those relationships can thrive and so that they can see us happy and so they don't have to see us depressed and sad and having these goals that we just can't, you know, maintain. So think about your loved ones and how the choices that you make affect them, how it affects your relationship, how it affects your ability to even support them in all ways, emotionally, physically, financially. You know, how do your decisions affect them? And so sometimes when we think beyond ourselves, it encourages us to show up for ourselves more. Okay, 4, create a regret list. I really like this one. Make a list of specific regrets that you might have if you don't pursue your goals. It's kind of similar to that letter from your future self. The regret list can be like, you know, missed experiences, a loss of confidence, poor mental health, you know, having a body that you're not happy in, that's not healthy, connections that you never formed, love you never found, friendships you never made, business opportunities you never had, you know, investments you didn't get to do. And so refer to this list whenever you feel tempted. The last quick tips that I want to fly through. So detach from the dream, commit to the daily. So sometimes, again, we just focus on these goals. We need to just think about what it is that we are doing every day. You're just so caught up in being at the goal of the weight loss, at the goal of, you know, the business hitting $1 million, but you're not just romanticizing and thinking about the journey that it takes to do those things day by day by day. So start romanticizing that journey. Commit to what it takes every single day to have those things, because when you get so caught up in the goal, you reach the goal and you're like still not happy. So you want to be happy with what it takes to get to those goals. And so that is the end of these steps. Okay, I can't believe we just went through all of that. If you are still here, I am so proud of you. You want this. You really want this, okay? Think about the space that you have been in. Think about how powerful it's going to be when you say, I am done with that version of me. I can no longer be this version of me. This is not no New Year's resolution thing. This is not an experiment. This is not a 30-day trial. This is not any of that. This is not a let's see if this works. You are deciding to let go of the old habits. Okay, make a line in the sand. I'm done with the old habits. I'm done with the endless waiting for motivation. I'm done with all the comforting excuses. I'm done with finding comfort in mediocrity. Okay, like I am done. You know, this doesn't mean that we are just not human anymore. We don't get mad. We don't get sad. We don't get overwhelmed or just perfect. Like, no, I am a human. I still have my human emotions. And it's just about practicing, returning back to that love state, returning back to peace as quickly as we can. I've returned to the energy that I've had, and I'm better than the version who I was trying to be. Imagine being better than the version you were trying to be that was consistent in the past. That is me. I feel like now I have all the experience and the lessons gained and the tools. I feel so much better about myself. I feel confident. I feel proud of myself. You literally have the secret sauce. You saw how this wasn't just, you know, do these habits and it's going to make you feel better. You got deep. We got real. I just didn't think that I could do it again, you know, but by doing something that made all of these consequences real, that showed me what my limiting beliefs were, that gave me the permission to just work with my body and do what I know was best for me, was such a beautiful formula in really getting to the bottom of things and actually making sustainable change. This has helped so much, and I just can't wait to see how this is going to help you. Okay, so before we close, I want to take the moment to reflect. We have gone through so much, you know, the journey that I've shared with you. Like, this is an intentional, focused effort and a way to prioritize your mental health. But you've got this. Please let me know in the comments how you think this video was for you. If you feel seen, if you feel like you've gained something from it, please share that with me down below. Make sure you give a thumbs up to this video and subscribe to my channel if you want some more videos about this. This is a series on isolating and overcoming it. We talked a lot about it, so there's still so much more that we can talk about. So if you have any ideas, leave that down. I just want you to know that you're capable of creating this transformation. You're capable capable of not being limited to this identity that is not even true about yourself. You can be consistent. You can have the self-discipline. You will see sun again. You will see sunshine and not be so depressed, not be so down, not be so unhappy about life and going through so much and feeling like you are drowning in it and it's just too much to handle. You will be good again. Don't forget to check the description box for any of those links and resources that I've mentioned. You can follow me on socials down below, on Instagram at Jessie Milani and on TikTok at JessieMilani_. And so everything is down below. If you want to check out my other videos, make sure you stick around, hit that subscribe button, thumbs up, and comment down below. I can't wait to share the next video with you. Give a pink heart if you stayed until the end because I just appreciate you so much. Well, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.